Okay, I think oh yeah, there we are. We are live. Hello and welcome. I'm very happy to connect with you. So, yeah, great. Actually, I don't, yeah, I'm not fun to start. I never know what to say in the beginning. It's really not a forte. So, yes, um, we're live and here we go. Welcome. Um, yeah, it's a little bit different. I'm going to try to see. I'm doing this because I'm I'm watching myself, so I'm checking myself. So I'm self-conscious right now in what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, and to go through it and to be more aware of me as the way I'm talking, the way I'm doing it, and also so as I'm self-conscious and self paying attention to me, I also am just I've been looking into myself and into how I'm doing things. What are the belief systems that I'm still holding, that I'm still playing with, that I do not like? But you see, it's the thing is, so I'm paying attention to my thinking. So what is intervening in my delivery? Am I thinking what I'm going to say, and how am I thinking? I'm thinking too much. So my spontaneity, am I spontaneous or not? And also that brings in one big thing, that is, if I'm not spontaneous, I think I should say it like that, and thinking too much, then who's speaking? Oh, my knee. Gosh, it's okay. And yeah, realizing, because I've been checking and wondering, and I've put myself through really, oh gosh, it was just fucked up this few days in, gosh, just what am I doing, and how am I doing it? And so am I am I am I am I doing right? I mean, I know I'm doing it right. Yeah, I know I'm doing it right. I'm not doing it wrong. There is no wrong, but is discovering those versions of you, those sides of you, or those things, and realizing that you are keeping yourself in a cycle, in repeating things, instead of, oh yeah, I've seen this and now I choose differently. But instead of choosing differently, you don't choose differently. You keep yourself in that, consciously or unconsciously, and then it becomes a habit or of saying things in a certain way and keep talking in a certain way, and so you keep yourself still, yeah, in no movement, which is not true. Yeah, I know. That's not the question. We're always evolving, we're always right, all of that, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's just choices. I make choices. I discover myself. I am able to see in me and wonder about me. So am I making the choice, and am I choosing differently or not? And when I do that, am I keeping that or am I just letting go of that? Is yeah. And it's overthinking. To be quite clear about that, it's overthinking because there is no need of thinking so much. And probably I'm not even doing all of that, but there's the need of self-discovery and to move forward, and especially to be able to see those little things that are so a habit that they actually become insignificant, but they're still there and they are bigger than what the expression is. And I have an example for that. Maybe it's better to give an example. Is the when I'm dropping a pen or letting something fall on the floor, which is something that happens all the time, right? We have gravity, so wherever you put anything, well, they can fall at any moment because with gravity, nothing, and you are on the floor. So, not big deal, quite normal, right? Yes. However, what I was not paying really attention to, and this is one of those little things, is that when I let something fall on the floor, I have a reaction. And that reaction is a reaction of I've done something wrong, which I didn't, but that is irrelevant because my reaction is, oh, this is wrong. I'm doing this wrong. And so, and it's that reaction in the moment of something falls, and that milliseconds of right, of reaction, that, and that's the thing, right? It's really irrelevant, but because it's so quick, it's so nothing, but it doesn't matter because my reaction is I've done something wrong. So it's that fear that I'm still expressing of wronging, right? Of wrongdoing. And which means that I'm noticing that, and I'm not noticing that because I'm really not working on that because it's so tiny. It's that really little reaction. But when I paid attention to that, I realized, wait a second, I'm still reacting as if I'm doing something wrong. It's a little thing, but if that little thing makes me have that reaction, then I'm still holding beliefs around that of wrongdoing. I'm not enough. Why am I reacting in that way for that? But it's even not the why, it's simply that the fact that I'm having that reaction. So little things, but these little things are telling a huge story. And if I'm expressing unworthiness, even if it's a little second and it's a little thing, that it's a huge amount of, it's not the right way to say. It's a big thing of unworth. It's lack. It's unworthiness. Is I'm bad. I'm wronging. I'm not doing this right. And so, not paying attention, not realizing that, is keeping that alive. And my reactionary self that gets angry at the pen or at I don't know, at the shampoo, at anything, at whatever, in that moment, for because they fall, and accusing them of falling and that betraying me to fall. Why do you fall? I post you there. How dare you fall? Right? Having those reactions, even if it's crazy or overreacting or whatever, but that is just that I am keeping that alive. I'm not accepting it, and I'm trying to control reality. Oh, how dare you betray me like that? How dare you fall when you ought to stay there where I put you? Still control. So that is another piece of the cake. Controlling reality, which obviously is that's again a huge component of everything. Controlling. I want to control my reality, and I'm not accepting what is happening in my reality because I think that it ought to be different. Because I think that when I leave something on the table, that something has to stay on the table and not fall down. Because if it falls, oh gosh, it is a tragedy, right? So yeah. And am I able to control reality now? Am I able to control anything? And to be honest, I've noticed that it doesn't matter how you think that you have done anything. And probably when I posed the bottle on the table, I did it, let's say, correctly. Nevertheless, the bottle falls. It doesn't matter. And at this point, I know enough to know that it really doesn't matter. The bottle falls because it falls, not because I put it on the table and in a right or wrong. There is no right or wrong; it just falls. And if I pay attention and I see and I perceive many instances of that, you do things and then right you act with your environment. You just do it, and then something happens. And it's like, oh, why is this but there is no why, right? It's simply it happens. So making a tragedy out of quite nothing, but just because, well, the control, it's like losing, losing the control of reality, losing the way of having things my way. That frustration, so that lack, that opposition to what is happening, what is there. And this is obviously it's all right, but yeah, look, it's not about and I realize this now. It's not about doing things right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. You do things your way. We make choices, we choose, and we act based on those choices. And there is no right or wrong. It's a choice. And then you have your experience. Then the human is going to put on that, oh, I did it right. Oh, I did it wrong. Oh, I ought to have chosen differently. Yeah, that's the human reaction to what we are doing, which is still, right, holding all of that in a polarity way of right or wrong, right? Okay, but that is absolutely right. However, here where I'm standing, here where I am, I have to have, I perceive or I understand that I can express it differently. And especially, I know that I'm not in the right or in the wrong. So that those reactions are not right or wrong. They are just reaction experiences, and that's the human doing its things. But now that is right. However, I'm choosing differently. So I'm choosing to connect with the creator, with the what we call higher self, or whatever you want to call it. I don't give a fuck. It's just names and names and names. Like if anyone gave a fuck about names. But so that is a choice as well. And I choose to express myself in a different way. So it is me watching myself, seeing myself interact with my reality, and then noticing, well, you look at me. I'm opposing myself, because that's what it is, and I'm reacting to my lack, and it creates anxiety, it creates anger, it creates me not being happy in that moment because a pen fall on the floor, like if that was important. And now, right, realizing is, are those things important? Well, no, they are not important. Well, if someone wants to hold anything as important, well, it's their choice, and they hold that important, those things as important. But again, I'm not here to see what anyone else is doing. I'm here to see what I'm doing, and I am here to proceed to decide what what am I choosing. So I'm doing me. So I'm not here to care about anyone else's choices. And you see, this is all realization. This is all me admitting the things to myself. I'm mainly speaking to myself, with myself, for myself, and whether the channel or not, who cares? But that's mainly what is happening. So I'm discovering all these things, and then I have then new choices. What am I doing with that I have noticed about myself? Obviously, one thing that you do is that even if it's something that makes you feel, in a peculiar way or whatever, well, in the end, you have, you accept it. You decide that is it. And if you want to transcend what you notice in yourself, the first thing you do is that you accept it, and then you release it. Because if you don't accept that you have discovered about yourself, you're holding it. You are giving it more energy so that stays. And this is true for any version of us, any version that we have ever been. That even if those are in our memory, as long as we do not accept that we have been, we are keeping that alive. And more we fight against ourselves, the more we give energy to those versions of ourselves that we are keeping alive, that we are keeping relevant. So any memory that of any self that makes its way in our awareness, well, that self is very much alive. So is that self a part of us that we do accept or not? And it's a good question, because we don't always accept all of ourselves and all of our actions and our past and all, and that's a way of keeping that very much alive. And again, give it energy. So we accept it, and when it's accepted, then we do not keep it alive. And when I say alive, I mean keep it in that side of the wrongdoing, or of the opposing, or of those things that keeps things present and holding. So we choose differently, and that's what it is about. Choose differently. And so you choose differently, so if you choose differently, then have you really done it? Because if you choose differently and then you keep doing still what was what it is that you used to do, then you haven't really done the work. So you have to go back and do it again, or you just don't want to let it be and you keep it, which is absolutely a valid choice for anyone that has that choice. But again, I'm here to do me, and as for me, I'm choosing to evolve. I'm choosing to do things differently. And differently doesn't mean better, it means differently, which is another thing, right? Of accepting that everyone is making different choices and that those different choices are not better or worse of choices that I am making. They are different. That's all they are. And so yes. uh, hmm, it's it's part of the journey. It's part of the self-discovery and then the self-evolution, evolving the self and evolving the species, because the evolution of the self, evolving the self, evolves the species, right? That's linked, cannot be separated. However, it's still and remains the evolution of the self. Primarily, because you cannot influence the species by wanting to influence the species. It doesn't work like that. A direct action most of the time produces the opposite effect, because you are trying too hard, and out of lack, and as we are always we are so full of lack in many ways, well then it cannot be working, which is right. We see that it's expressed so fully and so clearly in many ways, in many things that are being done and that are not working, because they're done out of lack. So self-discovery and seeing the resistance, going into the resistance. Am I resisting? And the resisting is what? Resisting is, as I was saying, something falls on the floor and I get angry and I get a control issue because, well, it went on the floor and I am saying that it ought not to have fallen on the floor. Why? Because I'm saying so, right? However, the object fall on the floor, and that the experience, and that's the reality, and me not accepting that, I am also expressing resistance. So I'm creating my reality. So if I am resisting, what I'm doing is that I'm resisting myself. I cannot resist anything else. There is no one else. There is me. And resistance is against the self. And I don't care whatever it may be, it's always resistance against the self. Whatever the experience, whatever it is, you cannot resist anything else than yourself, because as creator being, you are creating it. And so, yeah, that's so heartbreaking to realize that you feel like you're fucking up. Because because that's it. But actually no, because that resistance comes from something that comes from maybe trauma or maybe belief systems, and whatever it comes from something that you are holding. So it's not about resistance in itself, because who cares about the resistance? It's just you holding that and keeping yourself in that. But there's the belief, there's the discovery of the self, and that's the point. Not the object falling on the floor, not the resistance, because those are reactions. Why am I reacting? Why? What is the belief system? That the thing. That's what is needed. Am I expressing, well, I'm not enough? I'm not good enough? And again, it's not that if you express that in a certain situation doesn't mean that you are saying that you are not good enough in every situation. It's that you have belief systems, and based on those belief systems in what you are experiencing, then that's when it comes out. And if you hold a space of worthiness in your passion, when you are in your passion, that's clear that in that instance, in that experiencing your passion, well, then there you are fully expressing worthiness. But then that you have other situations where you may have other beliefs, other experiences, where, well, there you express unworthiness, right? So digging into it and being the dancing through of spirituality, of the self, not spirituality, the dancing through of yourself, is to understand what is your belief system, what is that you are expressing, why that is manifesting, right? That resistance manifests itself because, oh, I am still holding myself responsible of that memory, of 20 years ago when I did something, and that something was so shameful that I hold unworthiness. Every time I do anything that remind me slightly, closely, or whatever, that has anything to do, even if very remotely, with that, then I express unworthiness. Consciously, unconsciously, who give a fuck? It's that you're expressing unworthiness. And so it's to get yourself into understanding, oh, you see, I always have been punished every time I was doing anything that was attracting any attention to me in any situation. And even if it was absolutely not that big of a deal, because it wasn't, however, that was always punished. So that I'm holding that belief that when I am doing something that is giving me the impression that I'm fucking it up, then I go immediately into unworthiness, into I'm not good enough, I'm not doing it. So just letting something fall on the floor awakens that. But you see, I cannot get to that point if I am not holding myself in observation and allowing myself to then, right, make the connection and understanding that. Then when I get to that and I see that as what is giving myself that issue, because then I need to control reality, because I need to control that this doesn't fall, because if it falls, then I am guilty of making it fall, and so that means that I'm not good enough. But it takes that humility to say, oh, all right, I'm doing that. Why am I doing that? or let me check, or let me understand. And when you do that, then you give yourself the space of healing, the space of, now I can choose differently because I've seen myself, I've discovered myself, I understood why am I doing that. So now I can go in there and open a space of healing that, because I know that I'm doing nothing wrong. Here I know it, but I'm not knowing it here, which is the difference. Which is the difference between keep myself doing it because, well, I'm not allowing myself to discover it, because I'm, oh, I know, it's nothing, it's just, just whatever. But then when I am expressing, when I decide, when I allow myself that healing space, where that opportunity to discover and healing myself, then I change myself and I allow the healing. So it means that I allow myself to release it, so that when I am having those experiences now of letting something fall on the floor or whatever, right? Whatever it may be, I'm not reacting in that way. But it took the moment of realization to give myself the discovery of it, to be able to understand it and to be able to let it go, so that now I'm not doing it anymore, because I have understood it and released it. So that that little thing that, as I was saying before, it's really just passing by, right? It's not that big of a deal, but however, for how small it may be, I am still reacting and I am still expressing unworthiness in that moment. So now that's gone, because I took my time, I gave myself that space to change that. So then now that's great, right? But then it takes over. I go into questioning how. But then, right, great, but am I doing enough of that? Am I allowing myself enough healing, or enough discovering and then enough healing? Am I observing myself enough, or am I distracted? And then another issue that another thing that I was mentioning at the beginning is that think, am I spontaneous? And when I say spontaneity, what do I mean? Of course, we all have that thing of having thoughts or whatever, but it's not just that. It's the controlling what I am saying, to be sure that I am saying the right thing, that I'm saying the right words, that I'm saying it correctly, so that, oh great, I'm rewarded, right? There is no reward. Yeah, but it's not rational in that. It's simply that think of holding oneself in that space of, I know what to say and how to say it, so that it comes out in a way that it can be praised, right? So holding that, which is playing in what? Playing in the lack and playing in, well, it's right, controlling the thing, but it goes further, because the control here is more about than saying the right thing so that I am accepted as being good, right? Of having that image. So I'm holding a image. And And yeah, and that put me in a sort of crisis in the beginning of this week, because I was just wondering, I was just lost in it. So I don't know. What am I doing? Do I know how to do it differently, or am I holding myself always in that space of saying the right thing, of controlling what I'm saying? So that, but it goes even, yeah, I see, I hear you. Yeah, absolutely. It goes even farther, which is that another piece of it is that the control comes from the fact that it's a survival thing, which is I was raised in an environment where I had to watch my tongue to be sure that I was not saying the wrong thing, because saying the wrong thing will again get me punished. Uh, and it was a mistake free, meaning there was no redemption, or there was no second chance. It was punished straight away. And so that holds that space of needing to be in control of everything, action or speaking, so that the right word, the right concept, the right thing comes out of my mouth. And and so that kills the spontaneity, because you cannot be spontaneous in a environment where you feel not safe speaking. Uh, yeah, I just realized that. And again, a little thing. It's not something that I was keeping myself aware of, because I speak now and I'm not in danger now. So I'm not seeing that happening. I'm not aware of that happening because, well, there is no danger. Except that I still keep myself in the danger, but it's me keeping that alive, but not choosing differently. But I was not seeing it, so I didn't know that I had to choose differently until now. Because now I say, yeah, fuck it. Fuck. Just fuck it. Just fuck it. It's, yeah. And again, in all of these notions, in all of this discovery, there is always to be aware of the fact that no one is doing anything wrong. And that, yes, I know I've not been in danger because of what I was saying in a very long time. So that is not now, except in my memory. Yeah, absolutely. But you see, this is the thing, is that these things are discovered when they are discovered, exactly in the moment where they are discovered. I see those things now. And that's the moment I've chosen. So that's all about it. And it's not, I don't like to say it's not. See, this is one of the things that I do. I try to define something by saying what it is not. I don't care what it is not. I care about what it is. And it's one of the things that I'm noticing and changing. And here you see the change when you notice something about yourself that you're doing, saying, or you keep. The change is not the expectation that I'm not going to say that anymore, absolutely finished, because I choose, oh, I finished that. No, it's to allow it to be expressed when it is expressed, knowing that you do that, but you are changing it. You notice it and change it. It happens again, yeah, but it's fine. You notice it and you change it, and you change it, and you change it until you do not use that expression anymore, because, well, you've changed. And you will even not notice that you are not saying the same thing or doing the same thing, because it's gone. you are expressing yourself differently. But that comes when it comes. Am I going to hold my tongue and control what I'm going to say because I don't want to say those words? Hell no, not anymore. Because if I do that, then I am keeping that alive because I'm forcing it. Change is not forced. Change happens because it happens, not because I'm controlling it. If you try to control the change, well, you are fucking it up. Meaning, well, you're choosing to hold it away. This is a choice. And it's a valid choice. It's not a bad choice. It's a choice. You can choose differently, which is to leave it alone. It's another choice. And I'm not here anymore to judge choices or to say that a choice is bad. Choices are not bad. They are different. And this is something that we have and that I want to express and to remind everyone, you are not doing it wrong. You're doing it your way. And because this is something that we are, and I've heard people doing this. And the title here is enough. Why enough? Because I am enough. And I've heard people saying to other people, you're not enough, you're not good enough. And it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. This habit that we have to trash anyone because they make choices, which is what we do. And in this instance, right, saying to anyone, you're not good enough, it's horrible because that is something that each of us, all of us, we have been told. We have all of us been told you're not good enough. So, and that is horrible. Well, nowadays I will say go fuck yourself. But if you are not aware of you, if you are not in a space where you hold your worth and that you understand your worth, anyone that tells you you're not good enough, they are killing you. So it's violence to say to anyone else those words. So it's I realized that now it's another way, another choice of expression is to keep the notion and the consciousness of we are making choices, and these choices, whatever these choices may be, they are not wrong or right, they are choices. And that is something that I realized and understood for myself. And when I did that, I've seen that when I hold myself in a choice where I'm choosing against something because I have the notion that I have to choose this because I don't like that, I hate that, because I wanted to not be that, so I opt to choose this. Well, I'm just doing what I'm opposing reality. I'm opposing that. I am keep that alive. Why? Because it's not a bad choice. If I have two choices, both are valid. And it's not, generally, it's not just two choices, but to make it easier. If I have two choices, the two choices, both of them are valid and absolutely a potential that is available for me, and then I choose one or the other, right? But whether I choose this or whether I choose this, what is the difference? There is absolutely no difference. It's an experience, a human experience. I'm doing a human experience. That's what that is. So then, however, this choice, it makes me miserable. This choice is passion. So I can choose the passion against the miserability or the misery, the misery, or I can choose the passion because I prefer it. Recognizing that this is still a valid choice. The fact that it makes me miserable is just my interpretation of it, but beside that is a choice, is a potential, and it's valid, because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be even available to me. If but it's there, so it's a valid choice. It makes me feel bad, so this makes me feel better, so I choose this, not against the other. I choose this because I prefer it. It makes me feel better. It's a completely different way of relating to choices. It's a completely different way of vibrating the choice, because then the choice that you make, it's a choice not of resistance, it's a choice of passion. You're making the same choice. I'm making the same choice that I wanted anyway to do, but I'm doing it vibrationally from a position of passion. So then the relationship with the choice is completely different. So the reality that I am attracting through that choice is completely different. And how is it different? It's different because then what I can attract through that, so the choices that I am, the potentials that I am attracting through that are probably going to be wider, more reachable, more likely to be expressed. Not that they are not, or that it's not possible. No, it's simply that the potential is increased, is available, is wider, right? Doesn't mean that it's gonna happen. Means absolutely nothing for certain, because it's still to be created, right? It's still to be attracted, and it's still to be manifested and expressed, right? We're not there yet. It's a potential, stays potential until it's here and now. But the vibration is different, so the possibilities are wider. Whereas resistance is going to decrease your choices, their availability, and your ability to attract them. Just because you are reducing yourself, you are limiting yourself by opposing. So it is different. Even though you make the same choice, you are vibrating differently, and that is expressed in the attraction. So that it is essentially, these little things are not little, because all of that is doing me and discovering myself and giving myself that opportunity. Those discoveries are giving me opportunities that are incredible, huge. So yeah, I was exploring that spontaneity, that expression of control, and how am I going to manage myself without control? Do I need a control? And clear, I don't, because I have no control, and I cannot control anything. Yeah, I saw someone. Oh yeah, I saw someone putting something on Instagram where they were saying the more they do yoga, the more they are controlling their reality. And well, good for you. good for you if you have that impression of controlling more your reality through what you're doing. And I realized, well, I don't believe in control anymore. I don't think that it is possible to control anyone's reality. We may create for ourselves through belief systems a illusion of control, but generally that will, in my opinion, in what I can perceive, it will lead more to the breaking point where the control is overwhelmingly just revealed to be not existence. But again, I'm not here for doing anyone else, but that reveals to me that I don't really need the control. Because what I remember of my experiences, I can see that things have not been happening because I was controlling them. They just happened. And they didn't happen when I wanted them to happen. They happened when they happened. So my need of control is just fucking up with my mind, or it's just me wanting to give myself that illusion that I may be able to just make things go in a certain way or another way. Nice try. It's really nice try, but now you know better. You know that that is not how things go. And that brings to the realization that no, I'm not realizing that. That brings me to the understanding that the unknown is what it is. There is no other way to express it or to be. And again, that is my interpretation, and that is my way of seeing this now. And it's really very interesting, because then where am I going? Where I don't know. Well, I'm going nowhere. I'm here. I'm always here and now. It's not the notion of going somewhere. Is the fact of realizing that I don't need to know. And I'm still working on that, obviously, because this is for me. This is big. To release any need of knowing or of holding. I mean, I've been programmed as everyone to have a notion of outcome or where I am going and all of that. Well, I've been programmed in that way, right? Yeah. So choosing differently is choosing to go in a unexplored territory for me. So I have no idea what this is, and I cannot compare it with anyone, because no one is doing what I'm doing. Everyone has their own path, their own thing, and you cannot build your own reality based on someone else's, and you know that is one of the things that makes me uncomfortable now, is when people are asking for representation. They are asking for other people to show them how to live, how to be, and I'm saying, well, then when are you being you? Because if you need someone to represent you, who's then when are you being you? Because they are not representing you, they are being themselves. And if you need to be them, well, who's being you? But anyway, it's yeah, because this then lead me to say, well, what am I? Where am I? Right? It's but and what is real? What is not real? Can I let go of any identity? And if I do that, am I not being another identity in doing that? Can I express anything that is not identity? That is real though, and not just pretending. Or am I pretending? Well, I don't have an answer to that because I don't know. But I think that it's not about having an I think that we cannot I mean I cannot control it. I cannot have it I cannot build it with control. I cannot. I I can only express I am in any moment. And this is only the ego being lost, not knowing its place. Because actually, because the creator doesn't dwell into that. The creator is the creator. The creator knows itself very well, and the creator doesn't need to have an identity or to identify or to have anything like that. And so it's only the ego that can be lost in the illusion. But the ego is lost anyway, to be honest. So yeah, in the end you discover that everything is actually great, fine, fantastic. That what you are going through is just your evolution. I don't speak about ascension anymore because I'm not in need of ascending. I'm already ascended. So I for me that's done. And so this is the self-discovery, but it's more the discovery of the ego that needs to come to a place of of being comfortable with the reality, with the creator, being comfortable with this knowing, this being that is not in need of anything, right? It's hard to depict what that is because when you try to explain these things is that you're trying so hard that it doesn't come out correctly, or you're just trying to put together some words to make sense to something that it doesn't need to be expressed because is being. That all that it is, it's being. And as a being, you do not identify, you do not need any of that. You're just being. That is what our ED friends are telling us. When we try so hard to understand what they are telling us, and we try to put it in human terms, in human ways of whatever, and they tell us that that there is no identification, there is no need of any of that. That being is all that it is. Be it. Where we are trying to understand it, they are not trying to understanding. They are being it. They are expressing it. That's when they say, well, a Octurian, a Pieden, well, they do not identify as such. They are. So I fully know this is all ego and egotical, and the ego. But that's the discovery, that's the work, that's going into seeing these things, because the belief systems, they are all and completely human, so ego related. This is the ego that is holding these belief systems. It's not the creator. The creator doesn't need belief systems. Not the human belief systems, right? This reality is all together with belief systems. Well, that's what we do. It's not. Yeah. So the choice is the choice of choosing and being. Discovering, and then, well, yeah. So there you go. I see Roxy and James. Hello. Yes. Mhm. All right, that's all. So thank you very much for your for being here and connecting and sharing this moment. And I will be seeing you in the next. Bye bye. Oh, it's not the one. So this is the one.